I got on like some dating app the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and I started talking to this girl, and I kind of have this idea that if it's a girl that I'm really interested in, I want to get her number and like get on like a FaceTime or something as soon as I can,
Yes.
and then meet up in person.
Yes.
So like try to text as little as possible, and I want to get you guys' opinion about that.
Totally. You want to move them off the dating app as quickly as possible. I mean, it's always good at the beginning to time constrain things, right? Like I tell guys, your first date should usually be planned to only be like a half hour, hour max. And it should be cheap, it should be low effort, and it should be no more than halfway between the two of you, right? That's your first date. And then if the first date goes really well, then you could decide, okay, now I want to take her out to a fancy dinner or go dancing or something like that. But especially if you're meeting people from cold approach or online dating, you don't want to say, hey, stranger, who I have no idea how well this will go with, dress up nice and come to this expensive restaurant for me. It's like, who the fuck are you? Why would I do that, you know? Now, that's also kind of age dependent. How old are you again?
I'm 22.
22. So you're a young guy, so this all applies. If you're a little bit older, towards the end of your 20s or in your early 30s, you kind of get a better read on people faster. So it's a little bit more appropriate to say something like, "Oh, hey, I got these concert tickets" or whatever. But still, I think as a rule of, as a general rule, a time constraint thing. So, hey, I matched you on Hinge. Hey, crazy Corona times. How about you down for like a 5-minute Zoom date? We'll see if we like each other, and if so, we can do something longer. Perfect. And the women that resist that, like, they're either not into you enough, or they're not super serious about this whole, online dating thing, or they have their own social insecurities that you're not going to want to deal with, right? Yeah. And that's what I always talk about: compatibility. If you are upset with the way that she handles texting you, you're not compatible. It's not going to get better and when you start dating,
Exactly.
So how often, like, this is something I get confused about. So with the texting on the apps, I just joined recently after 2 years of not being on them. But like, you talk to them. Do you need to talk to them every day? I don't want to talk to these people that often. Honestly, I don't have anything that much to say about what's going on. I sit at home and watch movies. It's like most conversations pretty basic.
No, Matt. Again, you text to your heart's desire, and if she has a problem with it, well, she's gonna have a bigger problem with it if you extend that out over a 6-month period, right? So you need women that can respect your space. I mean, I like to say, pre-frame, right? Like, oh, hey, just letting you know up front, I'm not a big texter. If you want to talk, if you want to chat with me, like, I'm usually at home watching movies between now and then, call me. Like, you can lay that down. You can be like, I can touch base with you throughout the day, but I'm not really that guy. If you need somebody who's going to maintain a whole separate text-based relationship with you, that's not me. Though in real life, that is me.
Right. And then one other thing, what I'm noticing, just women who are in their mid-30s, they don't want to meet you. Or am I doing something wrong? Like, I'm like, do you want to do a Zoom thing? And they're like, yeah, I don't know. Then they just fall off the mat. The second I offer Zoom, it's like crickets on the other side. So it's like, I don't understand. Is it a control thing or?
No.
Can I say something on that?
Sure.
So my opinion on that is that it's kind of like them stepping out of their comfort zone. Like, that suddenly makes it real for them. Like, she's going to have to put herself out there in a way now. And, you're like a confident dude, and maybe she's not on the same level, so she might not be as comfortable with a Zoom call or like a FaceTime or something like that. That's kind of what, like, I've been noticing.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And actually, you made me think of something. Maybe she doesn't like how she looks on her webcam. Maybe she thinks she looks terrible over Zoom. Maybe she's like, I don't know how to do my makeup for Zoom. Things you can. So, by the way, all of those things, horrible excuses. I'm not saying you should tolerate those excuses. I'm just saying that might be what. Hey, honey, got girls chatting back and forth like crazy on the dating app, and then as soon as you say, hey, let's do a 5-minute Zoom call, crickets.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
For what I just said?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Confirmation from the wife.
Not everybody likes to do Zoom calls. Not everybody likes virtual face-to-face stuff for that exact reason. For makeup, hair, lighting.
You guys hearing her?
All this bullshit.
I mean, also don't forget now this is a minority of people. This is a minority of people, but some people are just bored and they're texting you for entertainment, and that's one of the reasons that I tell guys, don't worry about your text game. Now, when all you've ever done is meet them over chat, then yeah, you can't be like a fucking turd over text. But especially when you're doing the cold approach, it's all about that initial interaction. And I even tell you guys, like, be boring after the initial interaction, because that is testing how much he's actually engaged with you versus how much he's interested in you for being a dancing monkey, right? Now, if you don't have any dancing monkey characteristics, like if you've got that super low-key approach, hi, right? And there's like there's no way she could mistake you for like being a comical, funny, goofy guy. If that's the case, then you're probably already all set. But if you were like, oh, I was making her laugh and we were smiling and whatever, well, does she like you, or does she like the feelings you made her feel? And one of the ways you can tell that is she's responding when you're being entertaining, but then when you say, hey, let's go out on the date, or let's switch to Zoom, or let's do this other thing, it goes silent. And that's how you can tell, oh, she's enjoying the texting, she's not that into me, right? And so that's why that's why I say, you know, you don't need text game, because it just muddies the waters.